There is nothing quite as homey and comforting as a big bowl of chicken noodle soup. Today, I'm going to show you how to make my favorite homemade creamy chicken noodle soup with homemade egg noodles. Let's do it. What is up, you guys? It is Carly here, and you are officially cooking with Carly. Today, we're talking homemade creamy chicken noodle soup, and this, I think, is my current favorite soup. I feel like I go through these waves of being obsessed with certain soups, and this is my current obsession. The homemade egg noodles are super easy to make, and they taste so good. Like, this is going to blow your mind, how easy this soup is to make and how fast we can make it. For our ingredients for the soup, all we have is some chicken tenders, some carrots, celery, parsley, salt and pepper, chicken broth, and a little heavy cream. That's it for the soup. And then our egg noodles are made up of flour, baking powder, salt, eggs, and water. So easy. These are ingredients that, usually are kept in the fridge most of the time. You can whip this up anytime you need it. We're going to start with our chicken broth. It's going to go into the Instant Pot. And I need to remind you that in the description below, there is a link to the blog post that has all of the questions answered that you might have, all the ingredient amounts, the instructions, printable, all of the things. So go find that link after you watch this video. Chicken broth is going into my Instant Pot. The heavy cream is going to wait until after we cook everything. So set that aside for now. Celery going in. My carrots are going in. Chicken tenders. And my seasonings. Here's the kicker. Are you ready for this cook time? 3 minutes. I'm not joking. Cook on high pressure for 3 minutes with a 6-minute natural pressure release. The chicken is cooked beautifully, shreds so easy. Those veggies are still crisp. Perfection. Just put our lid on. We're going to set our Instant Pot for manual, high pressure, and adjust that cook time up to 6 minutes. Make sure this valve on top is set to sealing. We're good to go. While our Instant Pot is doing its thing, we're going to get making our homemade egg noodles. In my bowl here, I've just got some flour, going to mix in baking powder and salt. Just going to whisk that together so it's nice and combined. And you want to leave kind of like a crater in the middle of your flour here. That's where we're going to put the liquid. Just kind of push that flour to the sides. We make a nice little place for our liquid. The next step is to combine our eggs with our water here. So I'm just going to crack the eggs into my water and whisk them together. Whisk together the water and the egg until they're pretty well combined. All right. Now we're going to pour the liquid into the center of our flour. This is a good close-up spot. Stay there. Can I talk? Now we're going to just stir this and slowly incorporate this flour. We're going to do this until it becomes a nice dough that we can knead with our hands. It's actually really important for these egg noodles to have time to rest. So it's important to do this step right after you start your Instant Pot, so that way we can roll them out and let the dough rest for a good 10 minutes before we start cooking them. The liquid in the middle is getting quite a bit thicker, which is exactly what we want. You may not use all of the flour mixture in the bowl, but when it gets thick enough that you feel like you could knead it with your hands, we're going to turn it out onto our counter and just knead it like you would a regular dough. Okay, this dough is coming together nicely. Just got a ball that I'm kind of kneading with this spatula here. Okay, I'm going to pour out the rest of this flour and then knead it on the counter by hand. The dough should be really easy to work with and it shouldn't be too sticky. Just knead that flour in until it's not sticky anymore. All right, now flour your counter extremely, extremely well. The extra flour that's on the bottom and the top of your egg noodles, when they go into the soup, into the Instant Pot, when we're boiling them to cook them, it will actually help thicken that broth. So flour your counter liberally. And we'll flour the top right before we cut them. Place this, oops, that flew everywhere. Place that there. Grab my rolling pin and we're just going to roll it super thin. Guess I need some flour on the top too, huh? Flip that over so it won't stick to the rolling pin. Roll it super thin, because as thin or as thick as you roll your noodles and the dough here, that's how thin or thick your noodles will end up being. Shoot for like a rectangle, but really it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna lift it up a little bit to make sure the dough isn't sticking to the counter at all, because that'll make it really hard to peel up after it sits. If it sits under there without flour, see it's sticking a little bit. Gonna toss some flour under there. Okay, we're just going to let this sit and rest until our Instant Pot is done doing its thing. I can hear it all boiling in there, so it'll come to pressure probably within the next few minutes, and then we'll cook it for 3 minutes, 6-minute natural pressure release. We will reconvene then. I feel like now would be a perfect time in this video to remind you to like the video, comment down below, let me know if you love chicken noodle soup. Well, I mean, if you're here, you probably do. So how about you tell me, what kind of soup is your favorite soup? I'd love to know. And then don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new recipe, which is once a week. Don't want to miss any. The pin just dropped. The soup is done cooking. I'm going to just remove the lid here. Going to fish out the chicken tenders so we can shred it. Then I'm going to put my Instant Pot onto saute so we can get our noodles cooking. All right, looks like we've got all of our chicken out. I'm just gonna set this aside so we can shred that. Turn my Instant Pot onto saute, and we're just going to do saute normal. Now back to our noodles. I'm just going to take my pizza cutter here and cut noodles. And like I said before, as thin or as thick as you cut the noodles, and same with rolling, that's how they're going to be cooked. They will puff up slightly, so they will be a little bit bigger than you cut them. I like my noodles kind of on the littler side, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut these. All right, now these super long ones in the middle, I usually cut in half or even into thirds. I'll probably just cut them all in half today. Got stuck. Crazy thing. All right, here are our noodles. We're starting to boil in there. So once the Instant Pot is boiling, the liquid in the Instant Pot is boiling, we are going to just toss these noodles in. They're going to kind of sink to the bottom, but once they float to the top, they're done cooking. It'll take all of about 15 or 20 seconds to cook these. So they've sunk down to the bottom. I'm going to give it a quick stir. But once everything's boiling and those noodles float to the top, that means they're done. See how they've floated to the top? That means those noodles have been cooked. We can just press cancel on our Instant Pot, stop the simmering. Those noodles are cooked. I'm going to quickly shred this chicken. Then we'll add it back into the pot. All right, chicken is shredded. I'm just going to pour this into the Instant Pot. Give everything a quick stir. And then last but not least, we hit it with a little bit of heavy cream. The heavy cream is like the icing on the cake. It adds thickness to the broth, so this is a nice creamy soup and overall richness too. I like to eyeball about a cup to a cup and a half of cream and just stir that in right at the end. Next time you're craving a nice warm bowl of comfy chicken noodle soup, come back to this video, make this recipe. You're gonna be hooked. Give it one try and it will be the only chicken noodle soup you wanna make from now on. Try it and come back, let me know how you liked it. Gotta get a carrot, gotta get some noodles, and some chicken. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna burn my mouth. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so good. Mm-hmm.